Welcome back to the battle at the Chesapeake. We are continuing to try and defeat this federal force of 10,000 federal troops, guys. And again, we have the same exact amount of men. I'm not sure of the actual breakdown of men, but I do believe we've got maybe less artillery than the enemy. And about the same number of troops. We do have a cavalry unit, which they don't have, but Jeb Stuart's cavalry has already been forced back. So now, as you can see, it comes down to our arty and to our line, and we are just knocking these Federals down. If you want to see a true massacre in in Grand Tactician, just take a look at our last battle, absolutely rattling the Federals, or actually the first part of this battle. And hopefully we can keep this up, because of course they greatly outnumber us. We just can't really lose as many men as the Federals can. We can't stand to lose as many. So for these battles, I think the casualties need to be quite dramatic. And even though this one's only 10,000 men on each side, if we can do like, you know, a 1 to 3 kill to wounded ratio or kill to alive ratio, maybe we can scare any future Federals from joining the army, and maybe just get them to avoid recruitment entirely or avoid conscription entirely. Just run away to the south if you have to, boys. But as you can see, the AI has definitely improved since the last update. They're trying to get into the cover-heavy grass here, the actual wheat fields, and that's what we're trying to stop them from doing, though I do think they're going to make it there. So at this point, it becomes a gunfight in the wheat fields. Did manage to drive them back, so let's actually have this unit focus on the enemy in the wheat fields there. They are going to be flanked, so despite that coverage bonus, we're still going to get a really nice hit on them. Yep, Harper's Ferry is still not officially under our control. It is, you know, currently, I guess, being overseen by us, but until we have that full red circle, they are still trying to retake it. In fact, I'm going to move that other arty up even more. It does look like the Federals are being forced back here. They're doing a firing fallback, so they're falling back and firing at the same time here. Just keep on hitting them, keep on hitting them. In fact, I'm going to fire at this unit, 6th Brigade, switch our actual target here. Just look at the amount of Federals being left behind in the wheat field, man. We're going to have to call this massacre at the wheat field without a shadow of a doubt. The Battle of Chesapeake and the Ohio Canal is definitely, despite being only the second battle of the war, so far one of the bloodiest ones. And probably will be for some time. I can't see this getting any better for them. Although it does look like these guys do not want to proceed, so we're going to push forward. That's definitely a firing retreat. Give them hell, and there we go. Unbelievably, we broke 6th Brigade, 510 casualties. I'm not surprised they broke, and look at that, guys, 4th Brigade breaking as well. So far, it's looking like a minor victory. I was kind of hoping for a major victory, given that large amount of Federals falling back, but we'll take it. Let's push on forward here, start to consolidate these positions, and you can see now, Harper's Ferry Road is entirely under our control. So I'm just going to go ahead and consolidate those positions by moving forward with our infantry and holding the front of Harper's Ferry Road. I'm thinking, you know, making one more enemy unit break will lead to a victory completely. Just curious also, in terms of weaponry, no, they're all using, except for these guys. Colonel Francis Bartow's men are using the Lorenz rifle. And if anybody knows a little bit about the Lorenz, let us know in the comments below, because I'm not familiar with it. Not in the slightest. But hey, as long as it kills the enemy, that's all we give a damn about. And kills them quickly, of course. Look at that. They are completely falling back. It looks like at least their infantry. Just an absolute sight for sore eyes, guys. At least for the Rebs. I can't wait to see the casualty count on this battle. I think it's going to heavily favor us. Nonetheless, this army is still in a very dangerous area. We are behind the Federal lines. You know, we're kind of doing a raid, basically, for lack of a better word, and trying to raid these Federal lines and damage them before the real fighting starts, before the major armies start moving. And of course, currently it's 1861, the summer of 1861, so a lot of our major armies are just kind of getting prepared for the offensive in a few months. So I just want to get these guys in a position. We'll even fast forward just a little bit there. So we pretty much know how this is going to go. At least, I hope we know how this is going to go. We'll open fire here on the cannons. In fact, if we want, we can charge them. Might not be such a bad idea. Rebel charge. Come on, Bartow. And as I said in the last video, B Jr. and Bartow are going to be considered sort of the heroes of the Confederacy here early on. Let's see if they take that charge order to heart. Maybe they're a little too broken by the running there. Yeah, let's just open fire. I think a few volleys here with a hardened rebel unit should break them. They are going for the charge, but the enemy is falling back quickly. Really, really quickly. So I'll go ahead and change that order and just focus on firing at them. As for the rest of the men, just going to keep them here. The enemy could, of course, do something kind of like wily and sneaky, and they could get behind our lines and go ahead and grab, what's it called? Actually, no longer a victory location. So initially there was a victory location here on the road. I guess now it's entirely focused on Harper's Ferry. Come on, boys. Shoot them down. That artillery has killed your brothers in action. Send them straight to hell. And there we go. We've got an arty unit breaking away. Gotta love it. One more shot, and that'll be it. Actually, we don't even have to wait anymore, guys. The enemy is retreating. Just 4 more seconds for us to knock down a few more of them, but I think, honestly, we don't even need to. We've done a damn good job as is. So there we go, guys. A victory. And actually a few more men than I thought we did. They actually slightly outnumbered us here. So let's take a look here. Union casualties, 3,100. And we had 1,117 killed or wounded. Plus about 100 cavalry. Nonetheless, I'll absolutely take that to the bank. Pretty nice result there against the Department of the Pennsylvania. And there we go, a narrow victory at the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. And support for the Yankee cause wavers. Definitely with a loss like that, they're not feeling so hot. But we have to be careful here, because if we keep on going, we could end up hitting the Army of the Occupation over here, and really could be a bit of a problem. I'm really tempted to go into Frederick, Maryland with Johnston, but I think he's done a good enough job here. What I'm going to do is head back to Cumberland, and then from there I'll head south back into Winchester and back into this general area of Virginia, of course. We've got some much larger armies that we could start messing with, but it's going to take a while before we have completely staffed them full of men. We have been starting to build some armies around here, but we've got to keep in mind that we've got a lot of other smaller armies here in the west that we could potentially use. Now, I'm not sure why the Western Army and the Missouri State Guard are taking hits, but I think it's because they're in enemy territory without relief. So we have ordered the Missouri State Guard to return, and we'll order Benjamin McCulloch to fall back to Fort Smith as well. Is that the same Fort Smith from the John Wayne movies? I don't know. Now, currently over here, guys, we're just trying to add to Johnston's army. I've had a lot of people recommending cavalry units. So I think we're going to try to take maybe some cavalry units here from Florida. With all those swamps around, those horses must have some damn strong legs. So let's go ahead and give them some good old-fashioned Florida colors here and recruit some cavalry. In fact, oh boy, got some bad news. Recruiting not possible. There may just not be enough men. 2,373. Let's see what happens if we take an infantry unit. Nope. You know what? This could simply be because Johnston is out of the area. Not currently in one of the defensible areas. Let's see, can we take anything from South Carolina, Tennessee? We can actually go through different recruits, drafts, etc. There's only 21,000 recruits available, not exactly promising. So we might have to wait a little bit with Johnston's army and start building them up a little bit later. We have added a second group to that army. I was hoping to build on it, but it looks like we'll have to wait just a bit before we begin that. Let's go ahead and get back on the time speed. A disaster for the Union. Of course, the Confederacy stands firm. Finally, a major field battle has been fought between the inexperienced armies of the Union and the Confederacy. In this battle, the Confederate troops have prevailed, and they now hold the field, having set the Yankees running for their lives. The news is welcomed with enthusiasm in the Confederacy. President Davis calls it a great achievement on the road to inevitable victory and offers his thanks to all men who fought in the field. Well, that's just wonderful, guys. And of course, the Northerners losing heart. And as you can see, this is one of the reasons why we went ahead and struck in the north, started trying to burn down these supply depots, because now we are definitely going to hurt Union morale over here. Northern citizens, fearful Confederate invasion continues. Definitely concerning news for the Yankees. And what we might also do is just start building up other armies. So in other words, we don't necessarily have to build up Johnston's. You know, we can focus kind of on Beauregard's, for instance, etc. And I'm thinking the reason Johnston can't hire units is because he's over here in enemy lines. So maybe if we go back to our lines and go to the Army of the Potomac. There we go. This is the Army of the Shenandoah. Now, there's also that Army of the Northwest, which we could also start working with, building up, etc. But I'm just looking for the Army of the Potomac here. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. Fort Pulaski Garrison. Oh, wait a minute. I think we may have passed it. Yeah, baby. So, I'm not even sure if we should create another group. I don't think we need to because Beauregard is damn fine. And again, everybody has mentioned that I should add cavalry. So let's hope that we can add it this time from the Alabama territories. So interestingly enough, we can get horse artillery. We can't quite get cavalry units. Let's just get a good old-fashioned artillery unit from Alabama. I mean, we could certainly use that as well. But I think we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. We're gonna have to wait for more men to be recruited, it seems, before we can actually get another infantry unit. Let me take a look. Let me just make sure. So as you can see, recruiting not currently possible. And these are volunteers. But again, I think we'll just have to wait a little bit longer until more men are fielded. We'll swing through all of the garrisons just to see, but again, I'm pretty certain we'll have to wait a bit. Nonetheless, we will continue, and as these days progress, as each day goes by, quite a lot is, of course, happening here in the States, and both armies are kind of starting to field more men, you know, restructure their armies, get additional supplies. Guys like Beauregard, for instance, are actually prepared and ready to go ahead and start attacking, but I think we're going to hold off just a bit. I want to make his army just that much stronger, add a few more units to it, even if it means waiting. And I wonder if maybe money is an issue here, because as you can see, we're losing a lot of money funding this war. It's not a cheap war for the Confederacy at all. So I wonder if that's an issue. Let's take also a look here at the Army of the Northwest. Now, this is another one of the armies, this one under Garnett, that we want to start building up. With only 1,000 men, I'm not sure they can do much here, but who knows? Maybe, just maybe, there's enough men here to really start harassing the enemy with the Army of the Northwest. Alright guys, I finally understood the military situation here, and it's quite simple. Just to show you, if we hit that new unit button, you can see that the number of volunteers just simply doesn't cut the mustard. Basically, we need to get more volunteers. We can go ahead and we can get that cavalry unit I believe that everybody was looking for, but it's just going to be one of them, Loring's brigade there. And for additional men, like I said, we're going to have to wait just a bit. Look at how badass Loring looks, by the way. Absolutely awesome there. But this is just the way it's going to go. Of course, the war is still in its infancy. I was looking over here at Galveston, Texas, and it looks like the Union has blockaded this area and actually started firing on the port pretty significantly. Although last time we tried to use our non-existent naval muscle here in the game, we didn't do so well. Though I'm going to try to change things, and even though they outnumber us, I'm going to head over here to where the Charleston Squadron is and try and hit the Union outside of Galveston, pardon me. Don't worry, I know my Texas. And if we do that, I think that's going to put our naval situation in a much better place. Even if we lose, I'm hoping we can damage their navy enough to the point where they won't be able to siege really anymore. But, of course, it's nice and calm here at night, and like I said, the Army of the Shenandoah, we're starting to bring them back. Hopefully, we'll be hitting Cumberland, Maryland as well. I believe, did we destroy the bridge? I think we did. We may have destroyed the bridge on our way out here. But I'm either going to head south, right back to Winchester and start recruiting more men, or maybe we should go to Grafton, Virginia and hit them here in the northern areas of Virginia. That Army of the Northwest isn't going to be able to do much on his own without additional manpower. So maybe there's a consideration in sending units here instead of the Army of the Potomac here. Look at that, 21,000 men, man. Beauregard gets stronger every day. I think I want to wait till I'm at like 29,000 to 32,000 before I am completely comfortable with moving forward. We're going to go ahead and accelerate time here to the next day. We know that's going to take some time. The entire time, though, Joseph Johnston here burning up enemy supplies, just trying to destroy them as quickly as possible. And it does look like Poindexter has reached his destination. That's right, not everybody can have an amazing name like Stonewall Jackson. Some guys are named Poindexter. What are you going to do? So there we go. And it is the New Orleans... Nope, sorry, wrong squadron. We do have a very strong squadron called the New Orleans Squadron here. And what I'd like to do is potentially bring them to Galveston as well. I mean, if we can't win this fight, I don't think we can win any fight on the ocean, but hopefully hitting that Gulf blocking squadron will open up trade in Texas here and make our situation just a little more fluid. Let's power through. Yeah, he better get out of there quickly. It's taken him a long time to move through Northern Territory, there's no doubt about that. But hopefully, all of this is damaging Northern supplies. We've got the Army of Northeastern Virginia on the move. Got to be careful here. Definitely want to keep our eyes on that. Now, they haven't done much. They've kind of just moved a little bit to the west, but you never know. This could be setting up for a major attack. We just want to be on the lookout and want to make sure that we're on our best behavior here. Don't want to do anything that's not expected in this situation, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to even get the Army of the Shenandoah back to Winchester, is start rebuilding them for a potential defensive operation, because the enemy will, of course, without a doubt, move through here, and if they're, if they're unimpeded, then we're gonna have a really tough situation on our hands. Oh, I didn't want them to go this way. It looks like they're gonna go another way to get to Winchester. Oh well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. As long as they don't get there with the Army of Northeastern Virginia in time, and I think it would be pretty tough for them to get there in time, then we should be alright there. But let's also take a look at our Galveston fleet. I'm waiting for more reinforcements. We do have 2 of the fleets here, but I'm waiting for that fleet that actually has the, are they man-of-wars, the metallic ships? I think those are going to be the ones we need to get a major victory at sea here against the Union. And frankly, a major victory at sea against the Union may just not be something that we can really achieve here as the Confederacy. That is a possibility we have to consider. Come on, Army of the Shenandoah! Get across that there bridge! Oh, you guys are amazing. Look at that. They did get across. Unbelievable, man. I am impressed. Like, really, really impressed. Of course, now I just want them to hang out. We'll probably try to hire additional units for them. And there we go. We do have the General Clutch. Sorry, this is not the one I'm looking for. But the General Clutch is pretty damn strong. Again, though, we're facing a fleet of 8 over here. And probably much more advanced warships than what we have. Well, guys, I hope you're enjoying the campaign so far. I decided to release this episode a little earlier than usual, before the 500 views are reached, just because the series is doing damn well, and you guys are doing an exceptional job with the likes and comments, so please keep that up. That's really what keeps this series alive. I can't stress that enough. Take care, my friends. I'll catch you on the next one, and glory to the South. Let's get these men some good old-fashioned mint julep tea and some victuals. They are tired after all that fighting.